This time we look at the game by José Raúl Capablanca. When I first saw this game, I was already a master level player. Still, I was very impressed. With simple pawn moves, Capablanca imprisons his opponent's bishop. Let's see how he did it. e4, e5. Capablanca was playing black pieces. Knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6, so we have 4 knights game. Bishop b5, bishop b4, castling, castling, bishop takes c6, d takes c6, d3. Quite common position, even nowadays. And now bishop d6 was played by Capablanca. Here is other plans also. Black can play rook here or knight d7 and then rook here or even bishop here. This is very flexible position, and the idea to play like rook e8, knight d7 is to maneuver the knight on kingside and keep position very flexible. Okay, usually white does the same, or plays knight e2 at least, and then tries to make the best moves according to the position. Okay, here bishop g5 was played by white, and here h6, quite standard position and ideas. Bishop goes to h4 to keep this pin, and now Capablanca played a gunning move c5, and okay, it's quite natural, it stops d4, but it provokes knight d5, which is actually a mistake. Here white should continue with, for example, h3 to prevent bishop g4, and the position is quite equal. But here white played knight d5, and actually this is already a mistake. If you like, stop the video now and guess Capablanca's move. It's worth a try. Alright, let's continue. Here Capablanca played brilliant g5 idea. These kind of moves are quite common also in Italian game, and this knowledge is very useful also in modern chess. Here probably white was the white's idea was probably to take just g5, and if black takes on g5, then this pin can be lethal. Usually in these kind of positions, if white gets 2 pawns for peace and attack, it's a good idea to sacrifice the piece. Here it's even winning, because there is no good way to prevent threats like queen f4, queen f3 I mean, and actually, yeah, it's very common that this rook can also join the attack after f4 if needed. But here Capablanca have had a very nice in between move. He took on he could took on d5. Actually, this sacrifice didn't happen in the game, but we will see why white can't do this now. Even there is many ways to move this knight. There is no good way to, because this bishop is hanging, and if white takes here, black can just take here, and there is no way to give any kind of perpetual check after queen h5, and pawn just takes the bishop. But here if white tries to play like knight f3 and now queen is hanging and knight is hanging as well, black can play bishop e7 for example. Even knight f6 or knight e7 is enough, but this is probably even better to trade pieces, and now black is just winning. And even if white tries to play like this. Now black can transfer the queen to the defense, or even take this knight, because after bishop takes we can use same kind of idea, try to trade this bishop, and even there is some threats. Black can play like this. There is no good square to the queen. Okay, there is still some threats, but after knight e6, for example, everything is covered, and if white takes here, black is just winning. And this is the reason why knight takes g5 is not an option. Here white took on f6, and after queen takes f6, white has to play bishop g3. And now Capablanca played a brilliant positional idea, bishop g4, and this idea can be played in many similar positions, and that's why this is very useful concept to remember. And now there is no way to prevent bishop takes f3 in the game. White played h3, and then bishop took on f3, and then queen trade is okay for black, and now just f6, and the bishop is out of play. At the moment, computer says that this position is only clearly better for black, but it's very hard to find any plans for white, because this pawn cannot be moved, and so these are these pawns will keep position bishop's position closed, and there is no way to free bishop with h4 because black doesn't react, and when pawn takes here, black just takes with h pawn, and then there is enough space to make decisive actions on queenside. So the end is quite easy for black. Of course, there might be some chances to try to close the position on queenside, and then there is no decisive breakthrough, but in the game everything went quite fluently. Let's see how it went. King here, a5, a4, king f7, rook h1, king e6, h4, rook b8, takes, and there is clearly nothing, so black doesn't have to worry about anything, just play on queenside like this. And now white played rook on a1 to keep position closed. If white takes here, it will create chance to create passed pawn on queenside. Even there is one threat, it doesn't harm black. Just play like this, and then there is chances to put rooks behind and push the pawn, and then eventually there will be chance to promote the pawn. Okay, in the game this was happened, this was played, and then Capablanca played brilliant c4 idea. There is no reason to stop d4 because this position will be winning still, and if white plays this, it will free the bishop, but the position is clearly winning for black. There is lots of pawns, and this king is out of play, and so on. So in the game, white tried to took here, and then the best move is to take b3 between, because now white has to take, and there is no good way to defend these pawns. Rook took on b5, rook a4, and now black can play c5 to stop everything, and then just transfer king here, or play bishop c7 and win the game that way also. But there is no need to prevent d4 like we see. Rook took on b3, and then if white takes here, this will be very trivial win for black. Just push the pawn forwards, and even after d4, white just plays rook b5. Now the pawn is defended by rooks, and then there is no good way to continue. If white takes here, we take with pawn to keep extra bishop, and there is no chance to create any kind of serious threats against his pawns. For example, if rook goes there, we can just transfer the bishop on f6, and everything is nicely covered by bishop and king. If rook goes c4, like what happened in the game, black can just play rook b4. This was the game continuation, and after rook takes c6, black took on d4, and in this position white resigned. It's very understandable decision, because this bishop is out of play, and now black can just push the pawn and will promote. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game as much as I did when I first saw this one. Thanks for watching.